guys, it's Sarah and I'm here with the second part of my June book haul. So I got a lot of books. I didn't mean to. I don't know what happened. So all of these I purchased myself and they were all super cheap on sale slash Goodwill slash a library sale. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm going to start with the books that I got at Goodwill. I picked up three. The first one that I picked up is The Iron Trial, and this is by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Magisterium series. I don't know how many books are supposed to be in this series, but I have heard really good things about it. This is a middle grade from what I'm understanding. This is by published by Scholastic. So as you can see, it's a small size, so I think it's going to be really fun. There's a little bit of illustrations in here as well, mainly kind of like Harry Potter, like just at the chapter headings and stuff, there's illustrations. But yeah, I've heard really good things about this, so I think it could be a fun, good read, and then yeah, I can pass it down to my daughter when she's old enough to read it as well. So yeah. The next book I got is The Hypnotist Love Story by Leanne Moriarty, and I bought this. It was super cheap. It was like $1.50. But I bought it and then came home and realized I already had this on my Kindle. But it was super cheap on my Kindle too, so I'm not upset about it. But I was just like, oh man. But I do love her paperbacks. I think they are just gorgeous. I love the covers, and I have at least two other ones on my shelf, so I'm kind of a little bit of a set going on here. But yeah, so I'm excited to read more from her, and anytime I find one of hers really cheap, I'm picking it up. And the last one that I picked up at Goodwill is a book by Ellen Hilderbrand. Yes, Ellen Hilderbrand. This is called High Tide, but there's two novels in one, and neither one are called High Tide, so I don't know. I don't know why they name the books that have two books in them. That's kind of weird. But this one includes The Beach Club and Summer People. So I thought it was really cool, and I got this for $1.52, so it's basically two books in one, but it's literally like the second book starts right here. So I've never read this author before, but I have heard good things about her, and I see her books everywhere as well. She has written quite a bit, and from what I'm understanding, she's a really big, like, really good book to take to the beach or the pool and summery, and you know, like the nice contemporary type. So I figured this would be a great one, like, to take on a vacation, and you have two books in one, so it's perfect. But yeah, couldn't beat that deal. And then I went to Hastings. So Hastings is pretty much the only bookstore that we have in our little town here. And I don't shop there super often because they're not super cheap. Even their used books are not all that cheap. I can definitely get them cheaper on Amazon. So I don't go in there too often. Every once in a while I will. And then a friend of mine wanted to go in one day because she needed something else to read and she was visiting. So I was like, well, we can go into Hastings and take a look. And I round the corner to the bargain books, and they are 75% off. And they were also buy one, get one for $1. So Mama walked out with 4 books. I don't normally do that, but I could not beat those deals. I got these 4 books for $12. Like, it was insane. Okay, so the first ones that I got are 3 books in the Parasol Protectorate series by Gail Carriger. I already have the first one, which is called Soulless, so I got number 2, which is called Changeless. Number 3 is Blameless, and number 4 is Heartless. So now the only one I'm missing is Timeless, which is number 5. They did not have that one. If they did have it, I would have bought it. But yeah, so I have the first 4 books in the series now. I'm hearing really, really good things about it, so I hope I like it because I have bought 4 of them. But I also really like the covers. I think they're fun, and I like the spines too. The spines are going to look nice on my shelf. So I definitely picked these up. And then I needed a 4th book to make it $1. So it was buy one, get one for $1, and I only had 3. So I took another look around, and I ended up picking this book up. This is called The Crown Tower by Michael J. Sullivan. This is volume 1 of the Ryeria Chronicles. Now, if you have read any of his books in the Ryeria world, I need some advice because I don't know if I should start here or if I should start with Theft of Swords, which is volume 1 in, like, the Ryeria Revelations, I think. From what I am seeing, this is the first book chronologically, if you want to read it in chronological order, but this was not the first book published. So I don't know where I should start. I don't know if I should read them in publication order or chronologically. So if you have read these, please let me know where I should start. I went ahead and picked it up because I got it for $1, but yeah, it's a world I definitely want to get into. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I'm not sure where to start. I'm not sure. I need help. And this next book here I picked up at a thrift store that we have out at our military base here. We have a really cute little thrift store. It's not open a lot. It's only open like 3 days a week for like 4 hours each day or something. So you kind of have to hit it at the right time. But they do have a pretty good selection of books. So every once in a while I pop in there and see what they have. And I ended up picking up A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. And this is The Mark of the Lion Book 1. So I guess there's a sequel to this one as well. But I read Redeeming Love recently by Francine Rivers, and that's one of the best books I've ever read in my entire life. So I definitely want to read more from her and see what I think. I have heard this one is not as good as Redeeming Love, so I'm not going to go into it expecting that. So hopefully that will help me enjoy it. But yeah, so I mean, I picked this up for $1, so you can't beat that. And speaking of cheap books, our local library here had a weekend sale where they had all the books that they had been either discontinued in the library, like in the circulation, they discontinue them. And then they also have books that are just donated by the public, and they hold a sale once a year. And I found quite a bit actually, but I ended up going. And I got all of these books for $1 each. Like seriously, I can't stress enough how good that is, what a good deal that is. And they are all amazing, like quality. Like just, they're not bent up, they're not beat up, they're not ugly. They're actually really nice looking books. And yeah, I was super impressed. So I got all of them for $1 each. So the first one I picked up is called The Killing Song by P.J. Parrish. I've never heard of this author or this book, but when I was reading the description, it's definitely a thriller, and it is it's set in Miami. I'm kind of reading as I'm going here. But this is a detective in Miami who ends up, or a journalist, sorry, not even a detective, a journalist, who ends up receiving a hint from a serial killer, and there's a song on it, and the song kind of becomes a serial killer's his calling card. So it's kind of what he's using to make himself known that he's the one who did this. So sounds interesting. I've actually kind of really been in the mood for some like murder crime mysteries. So yeah, I went ahead and grabbed this one for $1. One that I went ahead and grabbed is kind of along the same lines as that one, and is called A Matter of Blood. This is written by Sarah Pinborough. Yes, Pinborough. This one seems like there's a lot going on in it, so I'm not gonna like tell everything because there's just written on the back. There's like 4 different things happening in this book to this poor woman. But this is actually a UK book, like everything, you know, the prices in pounds, and it's written by, or it's published by orionbooks.uk. So that's why it's so big. But I was immediately, just when I saw this cover, I was intrigued. And then when I read the synopsis, I was like, yeah, I could get into that. And this is, you know, definitely another crime, you know, murder mystery type thing. So I grabbed this one. Next one that I grabbed for $1 is called A Visit from the Goblin Squad. This is written by Jennifer Egan. This has been on my radar for a little while. I've heard a few people talk about it and just really liked it. I don't know exactly what it's about, so I don't really want to read a whole ton about it. I've just heard very good things. So it'd be kind of nice to go into this blind. It's actually pretty short. I was surprised how short it was. But it had been on my radar to maybe check out from the library to see if I liked it. And then when I saw it for 25 cents, I was like, might as well. And I really like the cover as well. So grabbed it. This next one is the first book in a series that a ton of people have been telling me I really need to read because it's really good. And it is called Left Behind. This is written by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins. So this is the first book in the Left Behind series. From what I'm understanding, this is a huge series. Like, it's huge. There have been a couple movie adaptations about this book as well. I heard they weren't very good though, so probably won't check those out. But I have had multiple people tell me that this is a really good series and I should check them out. So I figured I'd go ahead and grab the first one for 25 cents. They did have a lot of these books there, but I didn't want to buy the entire, like, you know, first 5 or 6 books because I don't know what it's gonna be and I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not, so I didn't want to, you know, do that. I figured I'd get the first one for 25 cents. If I really like it, then I can start checking them out from the library or getting them on my Kindle or something like that, because this is a really big series. This book follows the reckoning and kind of the aftermath of that, so yeah, I'm really interested to see what it's all about, so hopefully I'm going to get to this one soon. The next one I grabbed is actually a book I've already read, but I didn't have a physical copy of it, but is one of the best books I've ever read. So I really wanted to make sure I had a copy, and I'm really happy I found one for 25 cents. And that is Unbroken by Lauren Hillenbrand. This is a nonfiction book about a man who survived World War II, and he was a prisoner of war, and he went through some stuff. This recently was made into a movie as well by Angelina Jolie. She made this into a movie. I've not seen the movie. I would like to. I just haven't seen it yet. But I read this a few years ago, I think for our book club, and I just loved it. I'm not super into nonfiction, but man, this one completely tore out my heart and just put it back in all the wrong spots, basically is what this book did. And I could definitely see myself rereading this sometime in the future as well, because I did love it that much. So I was just really happy. When I first read it, I believe I read it on my Kindle. So I was happy to find a nice, cheap version of it so I can have it for my shelves. So I'm very happy about this one. And the last book that I grabbed at the library was actually on a table that was marked free. So every once in a while, right outside the library, they'll have a little table of free books. And there's not usually a whole lot on there that I'm interested in, but for some reason that day, this one popped out at me and I was like, huh. This is called Maggie Now. This is by Betty Smith. Betty Smith wrote A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, which is considered a classic, and a lot of people really, really like that. I have that book. I haven't read it yet, but I figure if I like that and I want to read more of her work, then I can have this one on hand as well. And it was free. I did not pay a single penny for this one, so I grabbed it. And I have one more book to talk about, and this is one that I got on barnesandnoble.com. I was part of the settlement that happened recently. There was a big Apple settlement with Amazon and Barnes & Noble and Kobo and just a bunch of online stores. So there's a big settlement that happened. So a lot of people got, portions of the settlement. I ended up getting about $8.50 for Barnes & Noble because I bought some books that fell into that category when I had a Nook. I don't have the Nook anymore. But yeah, I was pretty happy about that. So I immediately got on Barnes & Noble and said, what can I buy? I ended up getting 2 books. The second book has not arrived yet. I don't know when it's going to. I don't know why they ship my books separately. It was kind of weird, but like my second one is like an hour and a half away and it's been there for 2 days. So I don't know when it's coming. Not that I'm stalking it or anything. That's not weird. But I did get the first one that I ordered today. So I'm going to go ahead and show that one. And that is called Badger. And this is by C.M. McKenna. So C.M. McKenna also writes under Kara McKenna, and she writes adult erotica. And I have read, I believe, 2 of her books so far. One was like kind of a short, almost like a novella. It was very, very short. And then the other one was a little bit longer. But I really enjoyed both of them. And my sister has been telling me about this book. My sister enjoys her work as well. And she was telling me about this. And she was saying, you need to read this book. It's really dark. It's really gritty. It is erotica, but it's more than that. It's very psychological, and she basically, actually last night, she described it to me as it's a slap in the face, but it's a good slap in the face. Like you're happy that it happened, but you still got slapped in the face. So it's like, okay, that's how I feel about You by Caroline Kepnes. And that's one of my favorite books so far this year. So I was like, okay, good. Because I feel like I want something to slap me in the face right now. I haven't had that for a while. And she said, well, it's going to happen. So I'm really glad I ordered this. This book was not cheap. This book was $15.99 on Barnes & Noble. It's like, holy crap. And it's a paperback, guys. It's not even like a hard copy, like a hardcover or anything. But this cover, I don't know what it is. I love this cover. Like I can't stop looking at it. I don't know what it is about this. I don't know if it's because it's animated and it's so different. Probably because it's so different. But I just love it. And so when my sister was telling me about it, I was like, well, I could get it on my Kindle. But man, I really love that cover and I'd love to actually like have it and hold it and, read it that way. So I took advantage when I had a credit and I went ahead and ordered it. So I'm really excited about this one. And I have a feeling this one's going to be happening very soon. Okay, guys, that's 15 books. And that was part 2. That was part 2 of my June. And how long have I been saying I need to stop buying books? I need to stop it. I need to stop it. I really do need to stop it. I need to stop going to Goodwill. I need to stop. Yeah. I did stop myself from Book Outlet though. I had 4 things on my cart at Book Outlet and I took them out because I was like, no, I have so many books. I'm good for a while. I really just need to be good for a while. So yeah, that's going to be happening. All right, so I will have another small little book haul probably coming up in a couple weeks because I'm waiting for my second book from Barnes & Noble, but hopefully that will be the only one. That would be nice. If it is, I'll just tack it onto another video, but we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm gonna go. Oh, so many books. If you guys want to leave me a comment down below, let me know. If you guys were part of the settlement, let me know what you guys picked up with your credits. That would be really interesting discussion as well. Okay, hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you again soon.